When you hold me in the street and you kiss me on the dance floor. I wish that it could be like that. Why can't it be like that? 'Cause I'm yours. We keep behind closed doors. Every time I see you, I die a little more. Stolen moments that we steal as the curtain falls. It'll never be enough. It's obvious you're meant for me. Every piece of you, it just fits perfectly. Every second, every thought, I'm in so deep. But I'll never show it on my face. But we know this. We got a love that is hopeless. Why can't you hold me in the street? Why can't I kiss you on the dance floor? I wish that it could be like that. Why can't we be like that? 'Cause I'm yours.
When you're with him, do you call his name like you do when you're with me? Does it feel the same? Would you leave if I was ready to settle down? Or would you play it safe and stay? Girl, you know this. We got a love that is hopeless. Why can't I hold me in the street? Why can't I kiss you on the dance floor? I wish that it could be like that. Why can't we be like that? 'Cause I'm yours. And nobody knows I'm in love with someone.
I don't wanna hide us so bad.
I don't worry about the love we making.
I'm living for that day. Someday.
Can I hold you in the street? Why can't I kiss you on the dance floor?
I wish that we could be like that. Why can't we be like that? 'Cause I'm yours. I'm yours. Oh, why can't you hold me in the street? Why can't I kiss you on the dance floor? I wish that it could be like that. Why can't it be like that? 'Cause I'm yours. Why can't I say that I'm in love? I wanna shout it from the rooftops. I wish that it could be like that. Why can't we be like that? 'Cause I'm yours. Why can't we be like that? Wish we could be like that. Heart beats fast, colors and promises. How to be brave, how
like you do when you're with me. Does it feel the same? Would you leave if I was ready to settle down? Or would you play it safe and stay? Girl, you know this. We got a love that is hopeless. Why can't I? Can I hold you in the street? Why can't I kiss you on the dance floor?
I wish that we could be like that. Why can't we be like that? 'Cause I'm yours, I'm yours. Oh, why can't you hold me in the street? Why can't I kiss you on the dance floor? I wish that it could be like that. Why can't it be like that? 'Cause I'm yours. Why can't I say that I'm in love? I wanna shout it from the rooftops. I wish that it could be like that. Why can't we be like that? 'Cause I'm yours. Why can't we be like that? Wish we could be like that. your heart to me. I have loved you for 1,000 years. I love you for 1,000 more. One step closer. One step closer. I've died every day waiting for you. Darling, don't be afraid. I have loved you for 1,000 years.
I would like to welcome you all to our last day of the regional workshop, the 5th regional virtual workshop. And on behalf of the organizing team, AAU World Bank,
Recording in progress.
all of you for keeping connected since day one of the workshop. Just a recap of what has taken place for the past 5 days. We started with the Project Steering Committee meeting. This is a governance body for the S-Impact, and this is the body that provides guidance and approvals for our upcoming activities for the year. So through the meeting, we received approval for our work plans so that we can now implement the upcoming year. And a lot of guidance was also provided to the AAU in terms of the implementation. And then day one of the project, of the regional workshop, we received an update on overall progress. And this was the official day one of the regional workshop. And a number of side plenary activities were also hosted, looking at various sessions on digital education network, highlighting the research impact, and also the thematic networks activities that we are coordinating with IRD and AAU. Significant progress has been made as presented, and there are also challenges that were pointed out, which we all need to address as we plan for the upcoming midterm review. And then we went ahead to day two, where we also had opportunities to reflect on operations and guided presentations on verification status at each country level, at institutional level, and we all know how we are performing through this interaction. And then we also had some of the operations DLIs for the project that we have now received overview and at least an idea of the processes on how they are going to be carried out. And this is specifically for institutional impact, that's under DLI 7, entrepreneurship and innovations under DLI 5.3, and then also DLI 2 on progress towards assessing the impact on development challenge. So with these plenary sessions, we've really outlined the processes, and AAU with the World Bank will be coming soon with additional details. And then we also continued with various breakout sessions, the afternoon of day 3 and 4, where we had specific thematic sessions, operational sessions on social safeguards, procurement for centers, procurement for national institutions, and then also institutional DLI 7. So a lot of discussions were conducted in these sessions, and we'll be sharing with you a compiled folder for all the presentations that were made in these various sessions so that everyone is able to access them. So today being our last day of the workshop, to officially close the workshop, I would like to appreciate all the participants for the productive interactions for the past 4 days. And we hope that you have had fruitful experiences in terms of learning, sharing, as well as networking within the various sessions that we organize. However, they say all good things come to an end, and today we are officially closing. So before we move into the official closure, I would like us to just remind ourselves on the key next steps that we have come up with throughout the workshop. And these key next steps will be implemented by the centers, AAU, World Bank, and with support from the PSC and focal points in respective countries. So I would like to show my screen. Schneider. So in terms of key next steps, we will continue with capacity building activities for centers. These will be in form of webinars, and these will be carried out between June to November, and all stakeholders in the implementation will be coordinating these activities, AAU, World Bank, centers, and also AFD. And then we have an upcoming graduate tracer study, which we will now start implementing, and we are implementing from June to November. Information will be shared with all centers on the protocol, and we hope to conclude at least by the first round of the graduate tracer study by November 2021. And then support the implementation of S-Impact networks and partnerships. We have now these networks working closely. They are active. They'll be receiving their funding, and we will support the implementation of their proposals that they had submitted. And we are planning to do this up to November for this period. Of course, their network activities, they are for 2 years. So we will continue to provide that implementation support. And then also project midterm review, which is coming up. That's in October and November 2021. And a lot of information has already been provided in terms of the process. So we will coordinate that as well. Then we will also have National Steering Committee meetings, which we will have prior to the 60th workshop, and we will work with the governments, centers, AAU, and World Bank. And we have the upcoming 60th regional workshop, and we hope this will be physical. We hope so. By then, the restrictions maybe will be uplifted. So we just hope it will be a physical workshop, but details will be communicated as soon as possible. I think the slides were not coordinating, but we will also continue with disbursement, and most urgently is the disbursement letter for Nigeria as soon as possible so that the centers can get their monies. And then we'll continue with the ongoing verification activities across the DLIs for the project, and the verification schedule has been shared and it will be shared again. So centers adhere to the verification schedules, because some they take a period of 1 year, some are instant, some DLIs are within a short period, maybe 2 months, but depending on what the M&D team will share with you. Then we'll also finalize the procurement of the for the ECA 2021. And then we'll also finalize the mail, making sure it's still responding to the user needs, as well as finalizing the pending components, at least this by July 2021, and timely planning and organizing of subject matter expert virtual visits. And if the restrictions are uplifted, physical visits will be organized, but depending on the clearance we will receive. And then finally, also we will be implementing the digital education networks with our collaborators in Switzerland, EPFL, and most of the information was also shared, and we immediately send out a call for applications. At least by June, we should have the applications received and processes initiated. So this is it for the next steps, and we'll share these slides with all of us. And at this point, allow me to welcome additional comments and feedback from the World Bank colleagues. Ekwa and Himdad, over to you.
Himdad, do you want to start with any first days impacts? Specific comments? Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much. Let me just put on my good morning, everybody. And if you can see me. Okay. Hi, everyone. And thank you so much, Sylvia and AAU team. It's nice to see everybody. We are finally at the end of a very long and but effective, hopefully, virtual meeting. The main next steps on First Days Impact is really focusing, as Sylvia said, on accelerating implementation support. And we're in a good place overall within the 5 countries. We have about an average of 33% disbursement following your processing of your letters that were just issued last week. And the most important thing, I think, for us is really bringing it all together, especially the progress that we've made in some of the results around student enrollments, around some of you have really started on international accreditation. We are seeing some great work around external revenue. And of course, the COVID responses has really been phenomenal in terms of the work that you're doing and linking your applied research to the issues facing COVID that has happened within our countries and also within the sub-region. So that's, I think, a very key aspect that we continue on the scientific training and education. One of, I think, the most important things that I'm seeing is, and we focus this workshop a lot, is trying to address institutional impact. So making our efforts towards really having the university management and vice chancellors take ownership of that particular DLI and making that progress on those results. And also just identifying those milestones. And I hope that we can finalize those and a fantastic mission, and really something that we need to focus our attentions to. So overall, there are some issues, I think, with some a little bit of an implementation lag in some of the centers, and they know who they are. And what we will do is really be available in every aspect to support implementation support there. So with, in some cases, hopefully we'll be doing monthly meetings, as necessary, the more technical assistance from the AAU and the bank teams. So anything that we can do to help you address and solve those bottlenecks. And finally, we're in a very good place in terms of planning for the midterm review. We already went through a lot of the elements of that midterm review, and some of it is very clear. We have in some countries unallocated funds that we need to reallocate, but that decision will be made on the ability for the countries to absorb those funds, based on the progress of the numbers and based on the progress of the disbursement and based on the progress of the utilization. We will have a deep review, and we'll have a consultative process along those aspects. I won't go into the technical details of the midterm review. I think everybody has heard it during the roundtables. But really, that's it for me in terms of the technical aspects. In terms of just a few remarks, I think we have come from a very, very long place. I think the dichotomy between the ACE ones and the new centers is much less. One thing that I've really seen in this workshop and also over the last few months is some of the newer ACEs have really taken the mantle and have really come far in terms of the leadership around some of the work that the ACEs are doing. And I think this just shows that it's all about opportunity, and it's really a fantastic phenomenon that the role that the ACEs are doing, especially within the COVID response. A lot of the work that's also been done is by some of the new centers. I mean, we've seen the applied research being taken at the health center in Guinea. We're seeing some of the work being done by the Djibouti ACE around the Fab Lab and the responses on COVID in terms of production of PPE materials. So I think now we are really, for me at least, having worked in ACE 1, I see that that change significantly, and I think now we really are in a place that we can just to a close in terms of the ability to move and the ability to travel. Hopefully, we'll be able to have the next meeting face to face. Of course, that all depends on country and national and regional regulations. But it's been a really, I would like to thank especially the center teams. This time, I really, it takes a village. We've created so many distribution lists. We have now the newly safeguard officers in place. They have a lot on their shoulders. We have the M&E teams, we have the financial management teams, we have the procurement teams, we have, of course, the center leadership. And let's not forget the faculties at the universities that are really the backbone of the work that is being done, because the teaching and learning is done by the faculty and, of course, the center leadership. As I always say in almost every workshop, and I apologize if I sound like a broken radio, but it's the center leadership and the university leadership that makes or breaks the ACE projects. And we see that day in, day out. The linkage between the center and the host university is absolutely fundamental to the success of the ACE. Where we did see challenges in ACE 1 is where there was a disconnect between that, and we had to reduce funding, unfortunately, in 1 or 2 or 3 centers. But the lesson that we learned there is that governance, university management, commitment, ownership to the ACE project, there's no replacement for that. And I think we're seeing that more and more come through. It was fantastic to listen to the vice chancellors of University of Ghana, the representative, and also from UCAD to see what the work that they're doing with the centers collaboratively. And for me, I think there's no replacement for that. And I hope that we continue on that and we really have a good ownership of the ACEs, because we don't want to create islands of excellence either. So it's about linking what the ACEs are doing, making at what we from what. So examples of those we have been this in applied side one of the, for the university that is hosting in Benin, Abomi Calavi, but also for all the universities in Benin, and to one extent they can also share it in the sub-region. And so with that, we cannot forget our steering committee members, of course. I mean, we had a fantastic meeting on Monday that was very rich in discussion, and their leadership again is fundamental to the project. Our experience again shows that the role that the steering committee members take, both at the regional level and at the country level, is very important. Having those national review committee meetings, making the ACEs accountable in terms of what are you doing, how are you linking to the sectors, how are you linking to the national objectives of the country, how are you supporting the issues that are facing our countries, be it in the health sectors. The centers are working very closely with the ministries of health and the hospitals and the universities. So I stop there, and